What is going on, guys? Oh shit, let me pull up. Okay, I'll get this adjusted a little bit. There we go. Well, let me put some background music. Oh, perfect, lo-fi. Alright. Cool. Yo, what's up, Jabs? I'm gonna promote this stream in a second. Okay. Oh, what's going on, guys? We're here a day later than usual. My bad for that. College has started for me, so a little busy. I'm kind of busy now too, so this is gonna be a quicker stream than usual. But it should still be a good time. Right now, we're currently in mids. So what that means is we take a week break. Some roster changes, player roster changes, some transaction changes to the Pokemon teams, and yeah, just preparing for the latter half of the season. So let's get started. Um, so as for player roster changes, I think there was a few. Nothing on these four, I'm pretty sure. Nothing for us two, but it's the other three teams. Um, I'm pretty sure Kate got dropped from the Metal Sigmas. Final Gambit actually had budget to add another player, so they added Shadows. And Flying Kiwis just replaced Sune with my boy Hutch, the dog creator. So big ups to that. I'm probably missing a few stuff, but I'm not gonna like keep track um in anything like specific. All right. And looking at the standings, we see Good Boy Association is the only team left that's undefeated. 6-0 in fusions, which is pretty insane to think about. Sigmas are second, and Beta Toast are third, so fall off from second to third. Kiwis are fourth. Um, Host before Bros, funny enough, they have more wins, but series wise, they are under the Kiwis. We, the Pasteur Bros, are sixth, and they're actually tied with the Kiwis in wins and losses. Just lost the series. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Final Gambit is 1 and 2 as well. We face them next week, so this is gonna be an important matchup. And lastly, Fish Farm, unfortunately, is 0-3. It happens. And yeah, so I have 8 games as usual to share with you, and we can get started. Alright, we're just gonna go GBA off and our team PJB Pasteur Influence right off the bat. A lot of controversial games to say the least, but I'm just gonna pick some tame ones, both Lil Cup. And yeah, let's just like get started in the matchup. So us, well, let me switch sides. We brought Coughing, Gibble, Gremlin, Timber, Carvana, Natu versus Vulpix, Watchrow, Mudbray, Bumblebee, Axew, and Anarit. So immediately off the bat, I think Carvana, as usual, looks pretty scary. This is a Sun team though, so water moves will be neutralized. But there is no Heat Rock allowed, so even though little cup games are really fast, that still matters like a lot for a lot of reasons. No Bulbasaur in this team, which was something we were really scared of. I guess it wasn't like a good fit. Um, yeah, so the biggest threat is probably gonna be just switching into Vulpix's fire moves, because our fire resist is mostly gonna be the Gibble, but it could get worn out pretty easily with the Axew, with well, it's obviously gonna switch into Watchthrough to like the electric attacks. It's just gets chipped down pretty easily with jumping ups Vulpix pretty well. Okay, not streaming SGBL secret channel, so I don't know what that means, Frank. And yeah, not much to say here. Let's get started. We see Mudbray and Gibble lead. Are we going to see Rocks train? No, we immediately take a lot of damage and use up our Bear Juice. We get our Rocks on. Alright, good Smackdown predict. We get Giga Drain, so we get a lot of that health back. Do we see Rocks? No, we see Payback, and that just kills the Natu, so good prep. We bring in a Carvana, and it's a special Carvana to circumvent Mudbray, and I think, like, we don't have a water move in here too because of Sun shenanigans. We protect here. Okay. Swap out. And go for a nice Hydro Pump. We do have a water move, okay. That just killed, because Carvana has a decent special attack, and we're in life for it. Alright, expecting a quick attack, I think we're going to our coffee, but Popper, being smart, uses this opportunity to SD. We did have neutralizing gas for the Bunnelby though, which is rendering it useless. We burned the Watchthrough, swap out into Gibble. Watchthrough goes for like a water ball. Interesting. Expected Bramble to come. Air Slash, we get flinched. Air Slash again, do we get flinched? No, we don't. We land a nice Draco, taking out the Watchthrough. No, I think we should just attack here. So this thing doesn't get like a free set, right? Just go swear another Draco. Okay. Skill shot. So this thing is looking really scary, but we do have the Timber in the back. I think this is in range of a Mach Punch. We could also just live this out, right? No. Okay, we go for the Mach Punch. Use Anarit's Bear Juice for a knockoff to block in anticipation of Bramble coming in to block the spin. 2 knocks off kills us. We go for a protect just to outspeed, but Popper makes a smart move and goes for a substitute. Goes for a Dark Pulse here, but this, and we the Rock Blast misses, which is so unfortunate. So Weedy, trying to flex a little bit, is going for another protect, and just goes for another protect and gets the triple protect. What the fuck? Alright. Rock Blast. We lucked out somehow and managed to live. Dark Pulse comes in. And here's the Bumblebee. Goes for the quick attack. I mean, it's kind of forced to at this point. But we could just bring in our Timber nice and healthy. They go for another quick attack, but we just go for CC. And that into Mach Punch should be game, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, we just outspeed. CC. Perfect. So we, oh yeah, we were Choice Scarf, I believe. Alright, so yeah, really weird game. I can't lie, special Carvana on the triple protects. But I did think this matchup was like, if the Bulbasaur came, it would have been a lot harder for us to deal with. But since it isn't, it's a little bit more favorable. Especially because we were able to neutralize the Bunnelby pretty effectively with the Coughing's neutralizing gas. And Gibble just had the good defensive typing for like the Watchthrough, sometimes the Vulpix, etc. So well played. Let's go into the other little cup game of the series. My boy Aster versus Trey. We see Scraggy, Dupider, Q-Fan, Drillbear, a Litwick, and Volta Pursuit versus Snubbles, Sandshrew, Skrelp, Stuffle, Chespin, Drifloon. So big thing to note here is we didn't bring Poniard, which is like the top one in this draft. And if you look at the team, it kind of makes sense. Like Scrafty, he isn't like it's a great switch in. Dupider can eat up the steel moves. You could get burned through the Litwick even if it has to worry about I'm pretty sure it's a ghost type, right? Yeah, it has to worry about getting like knocked or something. Drillbear is also just annoying to deal with in general, and Killfree could switch it into a few hits as long as it's not like a final move. So no Poniard. Stuffle looks pretty interesting here. I can't lie, especially as the Scrafty switch in, which is the top guy in their team. I think Skrelp has a lot of potential. Let's just see how this match goes. Stuffer and Voltorb. We'll just go for a double edge. I think this was for Choice Scarf. We do get paired though. So we swap into Chespin on the Giga Drain. Okay. I think this is a turn to Litwick. No, they just go for a Taunt. Alright, good play. We go for Superpower, but it doesn't do much at all. Okay, we go to Litwick here. Oh yeah, Pin Missile doesn't do anything. In comes the Skrelp, but we get our balloon popped through a Psychic Read. So good play. So we bring in Sandshrew here. And we use the opportunity to get a Rock Slop. We bring in Chespin on the Giga Drain. Okay, we get Parrot as we go for a Bullet Seed. Like trying to predict maybe Drillbear coming in, I don't know. But unfortunately, this Chespin isn't making much progression, it's just slowly getting chipped. Yep, not much we could do here. But Synthesis up. Just gauging. The Trace just trying to sack this Voltorb at this point, but since we did get Para, we used this opportunity to go into Litwick. And as you can see, Fire Spam is really free since Skrelp is chipped. So our Stuffle gets sacked here. We bring in Drifloon as they go to Voltorb, and we double into Skrelp. We go back into Chespin. Thunderbolt, Giga Drain, Pin Missile 1, 2. Alright, Voltorb down. In comes Dupider, and this Leash Life is gonna hurt, but they go for Sticky Webs. Makes sense. Bug Buzz does come out. I don't remember if it's blocked by Bulletproof or Chespin gets that. It does. Interesting, okay. No, that's Soundproof. My apologies. They go for Trailblaze. Ooh, okay. As we go for Synthesis, trying to take this Dupider down, looking really scary. But at this point, it's pretty much over. Okay, we go for Acrobatics and just instantly die to a Hydro Pump. Skrelp comes in, but there's not much we could do here. Yeah, we just die. We bring in Snubble. I only hope it's like a miss. That we just like kill and maybe try to salvage the game, but with the Q-Fan still being alive, it's not really a big deal. We go into Sandshrew here. Just goes for Iron Hand. Yeah, it's over. 2 Iron Heads should knock us out, and that should be the game. So unfortunate, a little bit of over predicting on our team's side, but it happens. Trey just had like a safe game to play, and it worked out. So good on him. Congrats to GBA for winning this series. Let's move on. Alright, this is going to be hosts before bros versus the Fish Farm. Both teams are 0-2 at the during week 3, so this is going to be a really important series. Probably the most important out of the 4. J-Pop side, we have Tusk, a Terra Steel Mew, Darkrai, defensive core of Alomola and Corviknight, and Ogerpon that can Encore to punish like sub on the Alomola. On HX side, we have a Terra Steel, Tornado's Therian, so 2 double Theristeals, which is pretty funny. Latios, Iron Treads, Palafin, Venusaur, I'm assuming this is Mega Venusaur, and Diancie. That's a Terrifier. Ooh, okay, Terrifier is probably switching to the Ogerpon. Terrasteel, what's Terrasteel for? Maybe it's something for the bench, or it's just a decent switch into Ogerpon too. Not worrying too much about stopping Tantrum. I'll keep counting channel 1. Someday. I guess. Alright, so immediately I think if this tour is forced to Terra, I think Tusk can be pretty decent, like maybe Scarf Tusk. Just gotta worry about Jet Punches, but you have Alola, you have an Ogerpon, you should be good. This Darkrai, it's weird because if this is a sped up Venusaur, I don't think Darkrai could do too much to it. And Diancie's always like a hard counter to Darkrai. We do have plenty of tools to wear it down, such as the Terrasteel, Mew, and Tusk, plus the Ogerpon. So we'll see how this goes. Alright, we see a Corviknight lead into Latios, flip turn. Okay, this is probably gonna be a U-turn, yep. Okay, in comes Darkrai. Diancie probably comes out here, yep. Uses opportunity to substitute, good brain. We just nasty plot, so we're probably just gonna use raw power to take this Diancie down. Okay, Ice Beam. Alright, do we swap out? We do, good. But, as a prediction, Diancie goes for Mystical Fire, does some serious chip on the Corv. We go for a Meteor Beam, okay. We just roost this off. Makes sense. Could just like pretty much stall this out. Expecting Mystical Fire, we go Alola, great play. Alright, we just go for a nice flip turn into Mew. They go for Trick Room again. Mystical Fire. Are we physical or special? Oh, sad. We are physical. Okay, Iron Treads does come out here. We bring in Tusk, which can easily eat up a few hits. Iron Defense does come out here, but we're a Tusk booster attack. This is going to do a lot. It does 62 to Torn. God damn. We bring in Venusaur here on a potential knockoff. Good play. Energy Ball. Okay, we probably go for a free roost here, as they go for Synthesis. Yep. And now we could just U-turn into... Yeah, since we revealed a Leech Seed, I don't know. I mean, U-turn already. I don't know if Leech Seed was the play. I guess you can't do much now. We bring an Ogerpon on the Torn coming out. We swap out the Ogerpon as the Torn goes for Nasty Plot, goes for Heat Wave, burns the Corviknight. Corviknight goes for Body Press, expecting to Terrasteel here. Just goes for another Heat Wave, and down goes Corviknight. Opening up Mega Venusaur really nicely. Diancie is down, so we go Treads to eat some Darkrai hits. Do we have Focus Blast? No, we don't actually. Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Mass Blood Substitute. Okay, just go for another Dark Pulse. That does KO. Okay, in comes Latios. This is pretty obviously Scarf, so we go into Tusk. Okay. Okay, we sack the Tusk. I guess I'm assuming this Alola is Fizz F and Spit F. We break out our Terrasteel Mew. Go for a DD. Okay. Psychic Feint does come out. On a Heat Wave. Do we get burned? We don't. Okay. So something's probably gonna drop or get seriously chipped. Down goes I mean not down goes. Palafit's still alive. Takes some serious chip. J-Bar predicts the J-Punch goes straight into Alola. We get taunted, but we could just flip turn here. There we go. In comes Tornadus. Bleakwood Storm takes around 50. We just flip turn into Darkrai. Free Ice Beam. We can also sub here. Yeah, there we go. There's the sub. Great play. Honestly, we could just like Dark Pulse. We could Nasty Plot too, but playing for the double flinch would be nice. Okay, we use this opportunity to go Ogre Pawn. Ooh, and we get a Defiant boost for the Energy Ball drop, which is big. Just goes for a U-turn, straight into Mew. On a 50 Sludge Bomb, excellent play. So this is a free Psychic Fangs. We use this opportunity to DD actually. Okay. Alright. I think you go Latios here for sure. Yep. Does this Torterra steal yet? Because honestly, if you had the steal move, that would have been really nice too. Alright, we sacked out Lilamola. This is a Choice Scarf Latios, I'm pretty sure, so we could freely bring in Ogerpon as we go for another U-turn into Darkrai. And everything should be in range of a Dark Pulse, or at least 2 Dark Pulses. We have to bring Latios here and go for a Draco, but we could just sack something. A-Shake makes a smart play and doubles it to Torn here. Goes for a Heat Wave. We could just bring in Darkrai again though. And this Latios just goes down. Okay, so it's a really close game right now. We go for a Dark Pulse, playing for the flinch. Okay. We go into Ogerpon on a Heat Wave. Alright. We go for Psychic so we don't risk a miss. And we bring in Darkrai. Goes for Ice Beam and bam. That's the game. So, well played. Really close fight. It's probably game of the week. I'm curious to why was Ice Beam not free? Maybe you were like playing for weakness policy. Huh, okay. I don't know, I guess it doesn't matter. Maybe Ice Beam didn't kill anyway, so you're just playing for the flinch. Anyway, well played. Let's go to the next battle. Alright, we have another Little Cup game. This is going to be Peachy, one of the Little Cup goats in the tour, versus Jinko. And that damn Punkaboo. Oh man, I hate Punkaboo. So we see Helioptile, I think that's what it's called, Pony G, a Goldeen, Grimer, Alola, Drillbur, and Pancham, versus Wingull, Sandile, Pony, Kanto version, Punkaboo, Magnemite, and Tentacruel. Yeah, so, wow, okay. This Wingull looks so scary offensively. I know you have Dry Skin Helioptile, but, like, you have a Sandile, you have, like, a lot of things to chip that down. Pony is also, like, looking pretty stupid. The water resistance Goldeen. I don't know how bulky Goldeen is, I'm gonna be honest. On PG's side, the Pony G actually looks pretty stupid. Psychic Spam, if you get chip out of Sandile, is always nice. You have to worry about getting Flame Body proc though, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's get started. Pancham and Sandile, good lead. Scrappy to block the Intim. Hits the Punkaboo too. Drain Punch. Goes for Liquid Ooze. Okay, we bring in Goldeen already. Knockoff. Bam. There goes the Eviolite. Opening the Pony really nicely. We knock off the Tentacruels. Eviolite. Go into Wingull. Helioptile comes out as the switch in. Makes sense. This thing isn't bulky at all, though. We can get warded really easily. We go to Grimer A on rocks. Okay, this is a balloon Grimer, so EQ was pretty free. Rock Polished Grimer. Ooh, okay. Goes for a knockoff. Flip turn to pop the balloon. Goes into Sandile. Drain Punch does come out here, but since it's Intim, it's not going to do too much. Goes for a nice EQ, and bam, there goes Grimer. Pancham comes in here, but you can easily go to the crew. No, you just sack the Sandile, okay. In comes Punkaboo. Reveal it to be Scarf. Are we going to see a Wisp? No, we double into Pony G. Goes for a Flame Charge. Since you are Dry Skin, this should KO. We go to Goldeen, but it's not going to do much. Solar Blade. Ooh. Great prep. But it doesn't matter, you could just high horsepower. Flare Blitz does come out, so you're trading a lot of damage. As this is a special pony, you just go for Flame Charge here, yep. And yeah, it's not looking great for PG at all. You could probably live this Flare Blitz, but you still have a lot of guys healthy. Yep, in comes Wingle, which is looking insane. This is Choice Scarf, so you're gonna outspeed. You're not gonna take much damage though. And yeah, that should be game. One surf and it's over. So great prep by Jinko. Not much to say there. It's a classic Little Cup game. Okay. Next we have, I believe this is Paldex. Tired from the Flying Kiwis versus Luquette from Beans on Toast. So we see a Tusk, Roaring Moon, Jirachi, Terra Ground, Enam. Okay, Fairy Ground is always going to be scary to switch it to. Skunk Tank and a Terra Bug. Oh shit, Terra Bug Lapper is probably going to be the Ogre Pond Spring switching. On Tired side, we see Dark Rhyme, Ogre Pond, Terra Water, Terra Normal, Conkeldurr, Dodie, Yuxi, and Fezzidipity. Yeah, so obviously Terra Water, as that Lapras is the only thing that's making Terra Water hypercordial. It's not like great. Obviously you have the Roaring Moon too, but you could slap a Play Rough on the Ogre Pond or go for like a Huter and you'll have a bunch of tools to take care of the Roaring Moon. The Conkeldurr, the Fezzidipity, even Darkrai could do a bit of damage even with decent Spadef on the Roaring Moon. So this Lapras is the only saving grace. But on the plus side, what switches into Enam? Nothing much usually, but like in this case it's even more crazier. I guess maybe a defensive Yuxi. So both Terra Captains are looking really scary to each other, obviously. Let's get started. Okay. Terra Bug Lapras immediately on getting T-Waved by Yuxi. We set up rocks. Gets paired. U-turn. Skunk Tank comes up. Super Fang. U-turn into Thunderous. Full switch. Into Yuxi. Okay. Super Fang. And it's revealed to be Custap, which knocks out the Yuxi he would do Colbert. So this Conkeldurr comes out. It's probably gonna take Aftermath chip. Yep, there it is. Okay, we get the burn procced off though on a Guts Conkeldurr. Switches into Fezzidipity. Moonblast, but the thing is not gonna take a Terra Ground, Terra Blast too well. We actually go to Jirachi. Okay. Here comes Darkrai. We go straight into Tusk. Okay, well, I wonder what set this is. Not leftovers, not booster energy, not boots. Close combat. Jirachi does come out here. Moonblast. Okay. You could just U-turn to Darkrai though. Oh, you go to Thunderous expecting T-Wave for Body Slam. We go for a Wish. Knockoff does come. Who's gonna get healed back? It's the Roaring Moon. Okay. Knockoff, it can't get T-Weave because it's a dark type. That Prankster. Acrobatics does come out. Conkeldurr kind of eats that. Wow. Drain Punch does come out, but this thing is in Mach Punch range. So we go into Enam, good play. Alright. We could just bring in Fezzidipity here. Who cares if they Terra Ground? So expecting that, they go into Ogre Pond. Okay. Oh wait, Lapras already Terra. My apologies. Alright. In comes this Ogre Pond. We Terra out of the grass typing, so this Acrobatics doesn't kill. Goes for a Play Rough, and boom. Shit is looking a lot more scarier. We go for a Play Rough, just getting some chip as much as we can. We do get paired though, so we go for another Play Rough. This could be a Rest Talk variant. Okay. Sorry, Resto Chesto. We missed a Play Rough. Goes for Freeze Dry. Since we are +1 Spadef, it doesn't kill. Play Rough again. Psychic Noise. To cover for Fez switching in and can't roost in front of its face. Free strike does come in. You could just go for a facade. Yep. Now, ooh, okay, yeah, Psychic Noise just kills the slappers. This Darkrai is looking really scary though. Just goes for Ice Beam. Alright, in comes Tusk. We probably, okay, it's not Scarf or anything. It eats. Wow, okay, the Ice Beam is eaten, swallowed. Okay, we go to CC here. Interesting. Headlong Rush does come out. We are shook up, but we just die anyway. Okay, this Darkrai is probably gonna be Scarf if it outspeeds. Maybe if we swap it to Raji, we would have win. Oh, okay, wait, you aren't faster, so I'm assuming this Tusk doesn't actually outspeed the Darkrai. It's very interesting. Okay, so it's not Choice Scarf at all. So with that, I think this is an upset win, because that Tusk, like, probably should have outspan, right? I think that's wild. Good to know. Okay, so good win by Tire. Let's move on to the next battle. This is gonna be our first Fusions game. Carolero versus, I think this is Grand, so two Fusions Juggernauts. We see Basculin Legion, Tyrantrum, Excadrill Staraptor, Licky Petrite, Thunderous Starmie, Magmortar Mienshao, Ferrothorn Musicale. Verse is Alomola Grand Bull, Lucario Masquerada, the classic, Toxicroak Darmanitan, Adino Dusknor, Goldengo Claydol, and Rhydon Gligar. So yeah, all these look pretty fucking insane. I don't have much to say. I think maybe the Lucario Masquerada Fusion can go crazy because it hits, Flower Trick hits this thing. Well, I guess Play Rough does too. Obviously Triple Axel hits this. Knockoff hits this. You don't hit Thunderous and Starmie aren't exactly like super bulky, and Knockoff does a lot of damage. This is like probably your check to Masquerada, Lucario, because everything else, and the Ferrothorn too maybe, but it's not gonna eat the CC well at all. So yeah, this fusion goes absolutely nuts here, especially with support from your defensive pieces. On their side though, that firefighting Magmortar Mienshao is looking really, really tough. I guess you do have the Water Fairy and Alomola too, but you have a Thunderous, you have other tools, I'm pretty sure, to chip it pretty easily. Thunderous is enough though, in my opinion. Let's get started. Okay, we see a lead a little more Fairy type. Lead Thunderous, good lead. Goes for a Thunderbolt and it instantly crits, so that's a lot of damage. Alright, Dark Pulse, we're expecting this Rhydon Fusion to come in. Ice Beam does come out. Yeah, this Thunderous is already making an amazing amount of progress. Alright, Shadow Sneak does come, and it crits too, almost KOing. But we synthesis the health back up. Okay, Eon does come out. Alright, we see swap out to Fairy Thorn as they go for Teleport Region into this thing. Flare Blitz does over half. Could just go straight into Basculin Legion, yup. Alomola does come out. Just go for Flip Turn. It took Thunders again, and now this Thunders is back to being amazingly scary. Okay, we are forced to sack off the Audino. In comes Lucario though. This is a free knockup, so we go into our Ferrothorn. With neutralizing gas. Ooh, okay, so it shuts down Protean. Good brain. Okay. Goldengo on the Lucine, yeah. We go for Earth Power, it does 44. Knockoff. This is a Billy Shield, oh shit, okay. Alright, expecting the Earth Power. They go to this Extra Fusion, Pigdex that goes for Make It Rain, swaps into Rhydon on a U-turn. Thunders does come out, we go for Ice Beam, just instantly KOs. The Rhydon. Goes for a Crunch, boom. That thing is dead. Alright, in comes Ferrothorn. We could just bring Goldengo here. Player off. Okay. My morning does come out here on a Make It Rain. Swallowed. Just go for a U-turn. Okay. Alright. We stay in, which is a really nice to get chip on the Thunders. We just KO this Goldengo. In comes Toxicroak. Magmortar does come out here. We go for a Poison Jab and instantly KO. God damn. Alright, in comes this thing. We get Toxic, that's fine. We just go for a flip turn into Toxicroak. Baiting on another Aqua Jet. I'm kind of curious what the game plan is here. EQ. Okay, we just go for a play rough. And we just KO that thing with the crit. Oh shit, okay. Thunderbolt does come out. We are Wakanberry, but we do die anyway because this Thunders is a beast. Just go for a Poison Jab. I think this thing is banded, so... Oh no, it's not. Okay, Sucker Punch. Yep, okay. And this thing could just clean up with like a Flare Blitz. And that should be game. Bam. Wow, I'm gonna play around with Fusions a lot more, and this looks a lot more offensive and a lot more fun. Great win for Carolero. I think that's his first win of the season, so I'm happy he's back. And being really scary, just don't win against our team trust. Or like again. Whenever we match up. Alright, so the final two games are gonna be Final Gambit versus Metal with the Sigmas. It's gonna be a Paladix game. Ogre, I think. Yeah. Ogerpon, there's probably Terra Water Ogerpon, Dragon Eye Treads, Darkrai. The Petron and Terra Fairy Vikavolt versus a Meow Garchomp team. What, Petra, Urshifu, Terra Dragon. I don't know if this, I don't remember if this was single or rapid. We'll find that out later. Corviknight and a Terra Grass Carbink. So Terra Grass Carbink obviously check to the Ogerpon. Terra Dragon also check to the Ogerpon, so we're really fearing that. Honestly though, Darkrai with like Ice Beam and Dark Moon looks pretty insane. I guess Carbink is also like, I check to the Darkrai by, if we could like force a Terra on something and like get some chip on it with like Treads. If it's doesn't Terra, then yeah, this Darkrai looks absolutely stupid. Meow, as always, looks pretty nice here. Flower Trick, Triple Axle on YouTube. Treads isn't gonna like either of them either. If this is Scarf, U-turn is gonna do a lot of damage or play rough. So your only option really is either the Vikavolt or Colbur Petra. And both of those are gonna get really damaged by Garchomp with Edgequake coverage. More so the Petra, if his fears the Garchomp more. Let's see how this goes. Vikavolt does come out, and the Urshifu, we're gonna see Terra Dragon immediately, okay. So SDs, a Sticky Web, go for a Trailblaze. Are we gonna see a Discharge Para? No, we just go for Bug Buzz, does over half. Surgic Strikes, boom, down goes Vikavolt. Where are we gonna bring here? Darkrai, that's most likely gonna be Scarf, and bam, there goes the Urshifu. But we could just bring in Carbink here. Stot Rocks. Terra Water does come out. And yeah, there's not much I could switch into this. Bam, that's gone. This is looking really scary for Swaggy already. Goes for Spiky Shield, try to scout for what this Meow will go for. It does turn out to be U-turn. And now we could just go for a free Ivy Cudgel. This Petra is not going to take this well if it gets crit. Yep, there it is. We just taunt to prevent the recovery, so great prep already. We U-turn into Eye Treads, expecting Poison Puppeteer. Instead we get a Foul Play. So we just use this opportunity to Volt Switch, and we can honestly just bring in Ogerpon again. This is going to be a weakness policy set, so this might be like a Power Trip Agility set. Maybe. Heavy Cudgel. Does hit. Doesn't kill the Corviknight, we get KO'd by the Power Trip. Ice Beam is pretty free here. We go to Petron. This is probably Colbert if we want to switch in. So good swap out as they go for a recover. Alright, are we gonna see a volt switch? No, we just go for Earth Power. Makes sense. Triple Axle. This Treads is not gonna heat this well. 1, 2. Oh, actually it does live. Okay, interesting. Rapid Spin. So more for defensive Treads. Goes for a volt switch. Into Peckerant on the triple axle. Swallow. Knockoff isn't going to do too much either since you already proteined into Ice type. We parting shot back into Treads. Free Earth Power. We sack the Masquerada. Yep. We should outspeed. Okay, just to scout for Scarf, we go here. Knockoff does happen, we burn our Colbert, but honestly I think we do live in a knockoff, so it's not that out of the world at all. Just use this opportunity to parting shot, yep, into Darkrai. Peckerant does come out, we go for an Ice Beam. I think we're trying to burn the Dark Pulse, I guess. Garchomp does come out here. I'm gonna see like a skill shot, yep, there it is. I think I'll just parting shot here, TBH. Yep. There it is. And then we go straight into Darkrai. We sack the Masquerada. These webs are putting on a show right now. Alright, into Petra. I wonder if you're like trying to break Colb or something, or you just don't go for a Dark Pulse. Alright, I guess you could go for a Shadow Ball here. You just go for Nightshade. Okay, that also makes sense. Foul Play KOs the Peckerant. We could go Treads here and just get a free Earth Power going. Does 67%. We don't even die to a foul play, so this is even more free. We go for a recover. Finally get the Dark Pulse going, and it turns out not to be Colby, so we probably could have done that earlier. Iron Treads. Skill Shot. Yeah, it's over. Ice Beam should definitely KO this thing. Unless, this reveals to be Yachi. Yeah, okay. It is Yachi. Goes for another Scale Shot. So if this Darkrai is Scarf, or if this D9 can live Scale Shot at all, then Tikatonka wins. This Darkrai does turn out to be Scarf. I think, right? That was like a +1. Yeah. So, good prep. And yeah, a clean win by Tikatonka. Maybe if we preserved the Urshifu after killing the Vikiville, we could have a chance, but I don't know, maybe that's just hindsight gaming. Alright, last battle before I end the stream. We see, this is our Radical Red, our first Radical Red game of the stream, our only one. We see PZZ with the Cartana, Megagenna, Peckerant, Stunfisk, Landle T, Mesper team. Versus Sceptile, this is probably Mega Sceptile, Mr. E, Bursty Boy, I think that's him. Tusk, Zapdos, Cinderace, no, just Blaze, no Libero, because we blame Libero. 1 point, Saltcure, Corsa, which is definitely under tier, and Ticketot, which gets a slight boost in attack, and Radran. Adrena, as usual, looks pretty scary. You're like, nothing switches into it super well. I guess you could have the Sceptile, but it's not the bulkiest thing in the world. And you could get some chip on it with a lot of things here. But most important thing is, unless you're subly set, I don't think you could do much to Spadef Peckerant here. Or like slight Spadef invest into HP, etc. So it's going to be really interesting how Mr. E breaks through the Peckerant. Let's see how this goes. Tusk does come out. Alright, this is an air balloon. Peckerant pops the balloon with Mega Horn. Shadow Ball. Alright, Headlong Rush. Just straight up KOs this Peckerant. Good to know. Another thing to know, it gets Toxic Chain instead of Poison Puppeteer and Radran. We see Cortana that doubles into Stunfisk into the Cinderace that comes out. We see a Taunt. Okay. Blocks the rocks. Goes for SD on the Earth Power. Okay. Free Powerball. KOs with Stunfisk. Knockoff does happen here. Getting rid of Lum. So this is a Scarf Cortana, I believe. Go to Zapdos, not risk the para. We're going to Mass Sprint. Goes straight for a Hurricane. Confuses the Mass Sprint. Goes for Thunderbolt. Bam. There goes Mass Sprint. It comes Lando T. You could just go for a Hurricane here or go Sack or Tusk. Us to go for a Rock Polish. Okay. EQ does come out here. And it comes Sceptile. You stay in. And this is a Power Fly set. So that KOs. Sceptile. Go for a Stone Edge here on the Hurricane miss. Both miss, that's pretty funny. We do land the Stone Edge. That goes the Zapdos. EQ kills the Tinkaton, and it should be game from here. EQ. Corsola actually lives. Goes for Salt here. Okay. You could just EQ though, and that's the game. So, yeah, really like clean game by PCC. Maybe we would have a chance if we scouted for Fly, I guess Power Herd, and then we could bring Sceptile afterwards, but I don't know. Maybe there's not much you could have done there anyways, because you can't really hit the Landers back. But either way, well played. Yeah, not much to say there. This is going to be the only 2 wins I think the Final Gambit team actually got. The whole series went to Melodic Cinema, so that's something to keep in mind. And yeah, well played. Great series of games. I'll see y'all later. Sorry I had to cut this short. I just have some college stuff to do. Peace.